Hi, it's me again with Corel Roll Tips and Tricks. And somebody sent me this clip art of I guess, a concrete truck, kind of crude. First of all, this would be a very easy one to draw, but they're having trouble with the trace. And until I traced it, did I figure out what was they're thinking about. Normally, I'm just going to go outline, trace, clip art, and it's going to trace it. And you see that some of the stuff's been removed. I'm going to hit OK. And normally, your trace version's on top. And it is this time. The other, I just did this a while ago and it wasn't. So it doesn't show up. But if you will right click on an outline, you have those outlines. Now, to cure that problem, pretty easy. I mean, it's got some other problems in it that we could fix later, and it really doesn't trace that good. But what you can do is take a 2-point line and go from that node to that node, and then from that node to that node. And all we're doing is stopping the leakage of the Smart Fill tool, and then get ready to have your nudge factor set. So let's say this is less than 4 inches, so let's set our nudge factor on 4. And let's go to Smart Fill and fill in this truck, and then let's nudge it out of the way, and there you have that model. And it actually took away those inner parts because the Smart Fill couldn't get in there. Now it's still jagged, and like this you see in a clip art sometimes. I see it a lot when there's extra nodes because that's what went to the graphic. And then you could just take the wheels and let's just don't hit delete, go to object, group, and ungroup, and then just take the wheels. And because we nudge, we can nudge the wheels over. Now, if the wheels were a problem, they would be extremely easy to trace. And you can see that's that part on the bottom. I mean, not easy to trace, easy to redraw. It would probably be a lot easier to redraw it than to do this. But to fix this, just grab your shape tool and just delete that node. And if you want that straight, delete that node and then take these, try to select and hold down the shift, select both those and right click and turn them into a line. And now you have a straight line if that's what you want. I would actually redraw these lines and they would be relatively easy. Let's, I kind of hate that the truck is part of this drawing. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to take the whole thing. I'm maybe going to go a little bit too far on this video, but I'm going to left click, right click, which gives us an outline. And I am going to separate this truck from the other part just with a 2-point line. Go from there to there, and then I can separate it with the Smart Fill tool. And now I can nudge it over and we have a totally different thing. And then what I'd like to do is left click, right click. Left click, I just had somebody ask a question. Left click is taking away the fill, and then right click. So I'm taking away the fill on the no fill, and then I'll right click on black. I am going to, you can see it's all one piece, always put it back. Go up to object, convert the curve, break the curve apart. And you can see there's different pieces in this. And I don't particularly like any of these, any more than the other ones. So what we're going to do, and sometimes it's hard to draw at an angle. So I'm going to rotate this guy. I should be able to get it right back. And if I bring in an indexing line and put it on there, and when I rotate this guy and put the rotation on that spot, I ought to be able to, I got my indexing lines hidden. Rotate this and take that handle and have it snap to it. Now I've got, well, that's not a perfect angle either. Let's get about, I should have gone off this side. That's what I want. I want that. And we're close enough. Well, I'm going to fix it just so we can have it. Grab the rotation, and we're still rotating from the bottom. And then just take that. We need to put at least one, the indexing line on at least one of these. And we need to move it in just a hair. So I'm going to take that and, well, it'd be easier to move the rotation up here. and then just rotate that. And what I said about I can get it right back, because then we can just put it, you can see this is rotated that far, and put it back to 0. And at this time, I'd go and maybe straighten up that line, but that's another problem. Let's take maybe the easiest way to make this shape would be to take a 2-point line. Don't worry about the length right now. Oh, wow, forgot how little we're drawing. Maybe a little bit thicker than that. You know what, probably an oval. Let's just take an oval like that. And you could change it for your, the way you want it. And now let's shorten it down, put it like right in there, hit the plus key on the keyboard, using the control button to move it over, and then holding the shift key so it'll grow from the inside out. Now make a copy of this, control, or just hit the plus key, make a copy of this, and I didn't make a copy. Hit the plus key on your keyboard and zoom that out of the way. Let's grab these two objects, go up to Effects, Blend. I already had it open, so it shut it now. Effects, Blend, and let's blend them just like 3 times. Look at that. Now, because we made those copies, we can do the exact same thing. We can actually take this group of blend and move it down for a little bit. We can move this one down. I'm just nudging. And I'm going to put this one down, but then I'm going to use the control button to move it over. Now, if we had, you know, you could do it mathematically, what you need to do. I'm going to move that down just a hair. And then grab these two and maybe just blend them twice. Might be a little bit too close. And then, because this is a blend, we need to go to blend. Well, need to select the whole thing, go to Object, break the blend apart, and I'm going to get rid of that one because that's a copy of the other one, and then put that up there. I did pretty good on the blend. Now, take this and fill this in, and you've got a symmetrical drawing. Take your Smart Fill and move it out of the way. The only bad thing, we really can't do that. Let's see if we can. Smart Filling is pretty cool because it makes it their own shape. So we're going to have to set this back to 0. We need to probably group it together and set, well, that changed it. Oh, let's see here. See, we're at 344.72. I don't know that it's going to, when it goes to 0, if it's going to mess up our artwork. It didn't. Good. So then we can use the Smart Fill tool and get that shape, and then take it, just delete, take your virtual segment delete key and delete this, and because we sealed off the bed, and then just take that, nudge that back over, and because we don't want it to be a line drawing anyway, that would look a lot better, and then just take your Smart Fill tool and fill in the, I got a little leak somewhere on the truck, and it's probably due to this right here. Let me take the indexing line away. We might have a leak where I put that line. And we do. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a leak right there. Just take your node and just move it over the part of the line. Now this should Smart Fill. And it did. Smart Fill the tires. And put the bed back. Pretty cool. Now, the tires are really the easiest thing you could do. Now, we've got rims there. We don't need them. I'm going to left click, right click. And the easiest thing to do on this, they look pretty bad. I'm going to measure this, and it's, see, that's how far it's off. So I'm going to make it 0.683. So I'm going to take a circle, an ellipse, and make it 0.683. And it's now it's symmetrical. I can actually take this and probably put it right in the center. Now I'm going to nudge it out of the way. And now I'm going to take another ellipse and figure out what that circle is. I'm going to have to go to object and break the curve apart. So that one is 0.339. 0.339. Hit OK. Put it in the center. Nudge it over to the other tire. And then nudge them back to the truck. Well, you can't do that. You have to use the Smart Fill tool. But if you look at the two tires, I would always suggest, in case you do some cutting, is to right-click No Outline. And then all you have to do is just take that new tire and Control D and make a duplicate while holding down the control button so it'll be perfect laterally or up and down. Do the same thing for the front tire. So you only have to do it once. I'm going to hit the plus key this time. And there you go. Pretty good graphic of a cement truck, kind of elementary. There's some places I would, maybe fix on the hood. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty, you don't want square corners. You could actually maybe take the smoothing tool and just ever so slight, and you can see the outline there. Grab the outline and just delete it. That looks pretty good. I hope that helped them a little bit, and thank you for watching.